second? Yep. Call the vote because Tommy's still catching up.
You
Still
say-
catching up. Finish your
I
lines.
missed something, so,
seconded?
Yeah, finish.
We withdrew to waive.
and she told me that, but I didn't hear why. What is the intended or
You
the
had to let him
expected
talk.
benefit of having the evaluation?
Because new members want to go through the motions.
And
also,
because it's one of the things that we are tasked as a board to do is to evaluate the superintendent. And a performance evaluation isn't contingent on when someone leaves that position. Like, there might not be goals, but we should still have the opportunity to evaluate Andy.
There also was a suggestion that we could always move this again in the fall to waive doing the evaluation. So if we approve the short form for now, we could always re-examine not doing it.
After the summer, when each board takes a look at the evaluation and digs into it and talks about it, because that's what we suggested earlier, if that's on the agenda, then maybe in October, those board members, the new board members might feel more comfortable waiving the superintendent's evaluation, but right now what we're hearing from newer board members is like, we've never done this, maybe we need a practice round before we move into that. So that's what we're kind of weighing.
My personal preference is, if you think that's what might be the case, great, but having gone through the process, it's an awful lot of work to do as a practice exercise.
I don't
I
think
don't
this is a
think-
practice
I-
exercise.
right, I
What
think
would
it's-
I think
suggest
some of us
doing-
don't.
What I would suggest doing is for us to potentially defer the decision until the December meeting.
Well, we have a live motion on the floor.
So I'm gonna vote against it for that
Okay.
reason.
So is there any discussion on the motion to use the short form? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion?
Okay, you're gonna have to do it by,
All right, let's call district. We'll start with Hollis.
What is that?
4-0.
We got 4-0. And we'll call the co-op. 3.
3-3.
No, opposed.
3.
And Brookline. Okay, so that's vote 4.
Yes,
3.
4.
Opposed. 2.
1.
So
No, read it 2. Allison and Colleen.
Allison and Colleen, yeah. So, yes, 6.3, no, 2.7.
So it passes.
So
we'll do
it
the short
passes,
form.
we'll use the short form, but it sounds like we'll be revisiting this in the fall, whether
when's the
we, what we
meeting?
do then.
October. There's an
Okay,
October.
Tom, you can take the rest of the deliberations. Number 4, well, I think we're at number 4.
What was the results of the first two?
Unanimous
Yeah,
approvals.
resounding support.
I'm sorry, I'm totally stealing yours now. This one.
So,
I move to approve the superintendent's recommendations for contract compensation for SAU staff
I
members.
think we wanna take out the word superintendent recommendations, because it's beyond, it's been adjusted.
Board
since-
adjusted.
Board adjusted.
Board
recommend-
adjusted.
Board adjusted superintendent recommendations. Or board adjusted recommendations. So you wanna restate it?
I move to approve the board adjusted recommendations for contract compensation for SAU staff.
I'll second that.
I have just a question, so we're going to both decide on the merit and the salary?
It's the whole thing.
whole
package.
Yep, 2 votes.
and it's strictly up or down vote. Any further discussion, and at this point, discussion would simply be about the logistics, not about the content. Okay, we'll start with Brookline. All in favor of approval? Okay, 5. Co-op, all in favor of approval? Let's see.
So, yes, 8.5, no, 0.5.
Motion passes. Is that a mic drop?
No. It was a head drop.
And see what action the board will take regarding the hourly rate for the recording secretaries.
Yes, Dawn McMillan, who some of you know, who some of you do not know yet, you'll get to know her. She is our recording secretary. She has been with us for 15 years. Dawn does her rate increases every 3 years. She does a fabulous job producing minutes. They are as good as you're going to find anywhere, whether it's the public or the non-public, where she works with us to help get those posted and keep us in compliance. She also assists us when we trying to figure out, past policies or things of that nature. Dawn is requesting a $1 increase per hour. She only works the board meetings. This increase of the dollar is over the 3-year time period. And we, as an administration, totally support this. She plans to be with us for many years, and we're excited about that.
What's the current rate?
She talks about dollar an increase, so I think it's 24,
So it's going from 23 to 24?
going 24 to 25.
Okay.
Well, it says 20. It says 23 in here.
Is it 23? That's my mistake then. She's going from 23 to 25 then, and it's an adjustment over. And this will also be coming to each of the individual boards.
Are you suggesting 23 to 24 or 23 to 25?
23, I'm suggesting $25 an hour.
The outline, it's on the outline.
Okay, so Dawn did the outline, so it's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, if she did the outline,
So we can make the motion. I do have one comment I want to make about this. So,
And order of magnitude, do you know approximately how much we spend on?
call it 36 meetings a year, probably say 2 hours. So that's 72, and 72 times at $25.
$24.
She's requesting 25.
Is she requesting 25?
No, she's requesting 24.
If she's
The
requesting,
letter says 25.
This is Dawn, her letter to me is requesting 25.
so then it's a $2 increase.
Correct.
Now that's,
That's why I said I made the mistake.
oh, okay, so it's a $2 increase,
Right,
okay.
yeah, she
Oh,
was,
because you thought she was at 24.
I thought she was at 24, my mistake, totally my
It's just
mistake.
really late for math.
Yep.
What's in the outline?
It's page 8
It
of
doesn't
the
say what she's requesting though.
It doesn't say what she's requesting, it says what she, it
No,
just says.
and she gave me this letter,
2, and she wrote a letter to him,
Requesting $1?
25.
$2.
Requesting to be 25. Can I just comment before we make the motion that Dawn also, I think, did extensive work on the policies?
Yeah.
Because the New Hampshire School Board Association policy database crashed, and so we had to put all of our policies up in PDF form, and she did a ton of work. I assume she was compensated for that work, but she did a ton of work on all that, and she really is, like, these outlines, as a board chair, if it weren't for
They're
Dawn,
as good as it gets.
they're as good as it gets. So, obviously, I go higher, but
So-
25 is fine.
yeah, just so you know, if you did 40 meetings, which would be 12 meetings for each board and 4 SAU meetings, said each meeting lasts 2 hours, which is probably underestimated.
Yes.
That's $2,000.
And this vote is simply just for what she gets paid for SAU.
Correct. The memo will come to
And
each
then
of the
we'll
boards.
all have this.
May I just say, we budgeted for her for 45 hours for FY '25,
Which is
and she is currently at 23.
too late for math.
It sounds like we have is what I'm to increase the hourly wage of the recording secretary from $23 an hour to $25 an hour.
Second.
Motion by Rob.
Could have been me. I could have
I was looking
Apparently
at,
we're the same person.
I was looking at your lips were moving.
What if we wanted to?
I have just a question.
Like, I got a question about budget, I wanna.
You could make an
You
amendment.
can vote, you can move to to amend the motion.
We're discussing now, right?
Yes.
Where did the funds to compensate Dawn come from? Did the SAU budget?
For our meetings, the SAU budget, for the
Oh,
hall's
from
meetings,
each-
yes,
okay.
each board funds their,
Contracted services.
correct.
All right, got it, thank you.
So is that 45 hours for everybody, or is that 45 hours?
Just in the SAU budgeted, we budgeted $23 an hour for 45 hours, at which led us to a budget of $1,000.35 for the SAU meetings.
There's more than just the meetings, there's the work that she does.
This is what we paid her, yeah.
So, we have a motion on the floor. I don't hear any further discussion. I'm gonna wing it. All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. 9-0.
And last item, I handed you out the memo from Kelly Seeley, the business administrator. It says a couple of new pieces of information came to her attention since distributing the revenue and expense report that you have in your packet. As you can see, without this new information, we are anticipating a profit of $161. The most significant reason for this low balance is the coverage by a temporary employee of an SAU employee for a leave. The coverage resulted in a cost of $12,628 more than what was budgeted. This new piece of info are related to unanticipated health insurance increases. If these do in fact happen, they will cause a loss or a negative balance. Therefore, Kelly is requesting, and I am supporting it, that the SAU Governing Board approve the use of fund balance up to $12,000 to cover the potential negative balance that could result. This is, to me, a very prudent move on our part for two reasons. One, it was an unanticipated medical leave that we had to get coverage for. And number two, the board has historically wanted to fund one-time expenses out of the unreserved fund balance in order to keep that balance hopefully around that 7 to 10%. So I think this is a great piece, and I do believe that Kelly is correct that between now and the next 6 weeks, that $161 might not just be enough to cover everything else we have to go. It may be, because don't forget, we work under the encumbrances principle, so pretty much most things are encumbered, but she is talking about one other unexpected piece that is going to come up.
Just one question for Andy. The portion about the health benefit increase, is that something that is expected to carry through the future years?
Yes, but that would be, we would just have to do those budget adjustments for next year. It would just be that we'll have a new employee coming on, and we can only dictate what plan they will take.
Do you have any idea what the additional cost of the health insurance alone is?
Not at this time, because we're still in that process.
I'm saying, we've got $12,000, almost closer to $13,000 above what was anticipated. Did that bring us to the 161, or is that beyond the 161?
That would be beyond, so your new balance would be $12,161 if you approve this in this year's SAU budget.
So my point is 12,000 enough to cover the 12,628 plus?
Yes, because right now, the 12,628 was already paid for, and we have $161.
Okay.
But if we have to onboard someone.
So the 161 does account for the 1268?
Yes.
So the 12 gives us the buffer for the insurance and
Right.
hospital? Okay, thank you.
I got the 100.
Yes,
Somebody wanna make a motion?
yes, we do.
We-
I'm looking for a motion
Ann?
to approve
Feels like I'm-
the use of the fund balance not to exceed $12,000 to cover potential negative balance that may arise.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Rob, second by Krista. Your lips move. All those in favor?
I'd like to make a non-debatable motion to
No.
adjourn.
Nope, we need a reporting out.
All opposed?
You got one more?
Okay. Are you ready for me? Ready? So, minus the fact that non-public went too long, which we kind of knew just by looking at the agenda, we discussed some really great things and got lots of great information. Thank you very much.
Can I make a motion now?
Yes.
Yes.
Non-debatable motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
By Allison. All those opposed?